Yeah, I hope we are there. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Hello, doctor. Good afternoon.
Yeah, David, can you hear me?
Yeah, good
Afternoon, David.
afternoon,
How is
and
it?
fine, thank you. And you welcome to today's
Hello, afternoon,
show.
David.
As Yeah, you welcome to today's show,
Afternoon,
and
David. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you right.
Hello, afternoon, David.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
You
me?
can hear me.
Okay, so today we have an important topic to talk on, that is depression, and how this has
Okay.
affected the way people
You
think
can hear me,
about
right?
suicide, commit suicide during the
Yeah, I
pandemic.
can hear you.
So, yeah, you can hear me now. Hello? So, Doc, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Hello, David.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello, David.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can
Hello,
you hear
David.
me? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk on depression and how this has brought about some kind of
Yeah, I can hear you. Go
suicide,
ahead.
yeah, suicide thoughts and suicide among the
Yeah,
population during the pandemic. So, first of all, as a medical expert
yeah,
who has been teaching students, who have been engaging with the community members, we would like to actually ask you what you can tell our audience a little bit on depression, what they need to know, and also what is currently happening, because we know worldwide about 264 million people have depression. Then, when you look at our setting, we have almost one out of every five happen to be suffering from depression. Then from there, we have a considerable number of people who are having depression of late. So, Doc, Doc is off. I don't know. So today we are coming to talk on depression and what we should know about depression. So we'd like to welcome all our viewers across the world to Black Mental Health Matters, which is being run by Global Pan-Africanism Network, an organization that is looking into the unification of people of Black descent or people of African descent. And this is an important area that we must consider as a people. So today, depression, suicide, and also what has happened over the period during the pandemic. So when we talk about depression, what is it about? When we talk about suicide, what is it about? When we talk about depression, depression is a mood disorder. And as a mood disorder, there are a whole lot of criteria that we have to look out for to be able to know that this person or the other person is suffering from depression. So it's a mood disorder whereby somebody have sustained low or high mood over a period. And in some books or some researches, you always see that they will tell you over 2 weeks and more. Not only these signs and symptoms, but this is what you see more at times. Because when we are looking at depression, depression is one of the mood disorders whereby the person will have a low mood for a sustained period of time, basically 2 weeks and more. So this is what we need to know when we are talking about depression. So we have to look at suicide. Suicide is someone killing himself, and attempted is making an attempt or making any means that will be available to end him his life or her life. Yes, during the pandemic, a whole lot of things has happened to the human race, and some of them has actually increased the way we have recorded mental illnesses in our times from the beginning of 2020 till now. The pandemic has actually affected a lot of things, and it has also brought about the way our mental health should be. So I would like to talk more on depression, because when you look at current issues, it's like some people are actually thinking depression is far away, but you could be suffering from depression even maybe you don't know. So for you to know that you have depression, these are the things you should look out for. Let us look at probably, and it affects the human brain, not any part. I was looking at the various centers of the brain that is affected when it comes to depression. One, we have the prefrontal cortex. Two, we have the hippocampus. Then three, we have the amygdala. All those structures in the brain are affected during depression. Thereby, you are going to be having some signs and symptoms. So when we talk about the causes of depression, the causes of depression, I can say, is just like any of the mental illnesses. They are multifaceted, and at times we cannot even pinpoint the real cause, or the exact cause is unknown. But there are other precipitating factors or causes that bring about depression. One, it could be any of the psychological problems that you have, and those psychological problems or traumas that you have, as we know out there, yes, work-related issues, spousal issues, and the likes. So these are the things that let us even think more, whereby putting pressure on ourselves. And in as much as we put pressure on ourselves, it affects us whole day, whole night, whole moment. So these are the things that you must look out for. So members, depression is a mental disorder. It's a mental illness, a form of mental illness. And under the categorization, it is a mood disorder. So as a mood disorder, we must all be very key and very, very particular about it, because your mood makes up you. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? These are the things. So this depression has a take in the way people commit suicide. So depression has become something that we must all look out for at our workplaces, among our children. So the causes, as I said, one, we have psychological, some we have social, we have genetic. Yes, if your parents had depression, you can also be prone to getting depression. Yes, if probably your mother have it or your father have it, you are also prone to getting it. Yes, there are other things that brings about that causes depression. You have stress, that is pressure from academics. We know students and the likes. Then from home, we have parents putting undue pressure on their wards. All these things all can bring about depression. So these are some of the causes that we have. So moving from here, we have some signs and symptoms of depression. The most cardinal one I would like members to know is about sustained low mood. And that sustained low mood, the person he loses appetite for food, he does not eat, he's always at a place not moving. Yes, not only that, there are other ones. One, some of them, they lose interest in sex, or their pleasure to have sex is totally off. They don't have that interest to also say, oh, I need to make love to my partner, and so on and so forth. So when it happens like that, it means that there is actually a problem. Their performance at work, there will be reduced performance at work in as much as this person have depression, goes through this kind of situation. So yeah, so this is basically what we have to know. And mental illness, it could be anyone. So members out there, let us all see how best we can all support this particular project and program. So I think I one of our guests, one of our guests is at the back door. I don't know why he's not able to enter. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So we are actually too going to talk about this. So mental illness and depression, as I always say, any platform I get. Hello, Doc.
Yeah, David.
Yeah, I think
Hello,
you can
David.
take over. What I was speaking about was the causes of depression. Thereby, we wanted to have a link with that to suicide and probably how the pandemic has brought about all this. Yes, luckily too, you have been in the medical field, you have been interacting with people out there. Yes, we would like to know your view on depression. We would like to know some of the causes from the socio anthropological view as you have been doing around, then also the cultural perspective, what
Yes,
actually
test people.
put people to
Hello.
getting some of these things from our cultures.
Hello.
Yes, so you have the platform now. Our audience, you have Dr. Akoto Julius from Accra College of Medicine, one of the medical colleges we have
Hello.
on the African continent, which is very best. And congratulations to your students who made 100% in their exam. We are most grateful, and God bless you, Doc, for your hard work. And also we wish
Hello.
them well in their endeavors into getting into the job and practicing to the people on the
Hello.
African continent and to the world at large. So you have the platform to tell your audience what we need to know when it comes to depression, because I have just highlighted them on probably they're looking at depression as any of the mental illnesses, but under categorization, it is a mood disorder. But when we look at the parts of the brain which is affected, we have the amygdala, we have the prefrontal cortex, and the hippocampus. Those are the structures that are affected during depression, and they must look out for that. I also came to tell them some few cardinal symptoms that they must look out for from someone that is having depression. So we would like to talk on the cultural perspective, the socio-anthropological perspective, and probably how this can be linked to suicide to as a result of the pandemic. Thank you very much.
All right. So are you hearing me?
Yeah, I
Hello.
can hear you.
Hello, David.
I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear
Are you
you.
hearing me?
Yeah, you can proceed.
Okay. So culturally, there are so many. Yeah. Okay. So culturally, there are so many reasons. Yeah. So okay. Thank you. All right. So there are so many reasons why culturally, in terms of social discourses, um, people go through such a depressive moment. So you've highlighted the scientific underpinnings of depressions, but socially, relationship is a key to everything that we do in life, and this is tied to varieties of dimensions of life in terms of economic, religious perspective. Essentially, the African is a communion being, and when this sense of communality, or I should say human beings are communal in spirit. When this communal aspect of their life is broken, it leads to other or result in other, consequences, or it results in other affiliated aspects of their lives, such as the socio-cultural um, aspect of their life, spiritual aspect of their life, and it's affect their psyche or their mental state of living. And this invariably can result into a certain degenerated mood of living. And that is what is often scientifically regarded as depression. You are in a deprived mood because certain aspects of your life is not adding up very well. Because in the dimensions of life, all these pieces in relation to economic, social, political factors must add up. If such things are not adding up, it becomes a misnomer or a depriving or a depravity of your life, and that can cause your mental psyche not to be, balanced. So to tie this up to the COVID moment, when people especially had to be at the family, I mean individuals, when they are not married, even when they are married, and they depend on their social cultural livelihood depends on other people or is tied up to other people. It is no longer met in their daily quest for life, for living. Then it results to they living alone, and the balances of life doesn't add up. So for example, when you take the religious aspect, where it was now as in people shouldn't congregate, they shouldn't go to the mosque together, they shouldn't pray together in churches. That aspect of they not being bounded began to prey on the individual, because as I said, the individual is a communal being. You can't take that sense of communality from them. And if they are deprived of that, they would extinct. It happens to even all biological existence is made to be communal in a sense. And if that communal sense is no longer, in place, they break down psychologically. So that is in the religious field, because people, even when they have to pray together, they need a certain synergy, they need a certain linking up of their soul or togetherness in their soul to be able to pray in terms of energy that stirring up all what we could call affiliative, thinking in terms of their spiritual discernment and their spiritual analysis of issues. So that is one. Then the other thing also has to do with the economic factor, which is several. So, for example, you want to marry, it's an economic issue. Um, People socially contribute, give, you know, either money, treasuries, goods, services. Okay, somebody can make available his or her car. Somebody can make available money, um, cloth, etc. To make, livelihood far better for the individual in terms of, opportune moments such as marriages, outdooring, funeral services, etc. And when they don't have such opportunity extended to them again in this way, it's become a conundrum and a battle for them. And that is why, cognitively, or in terms of their mental disposition, you see such things depravity, leading them into a state of, madness, or a state of not being sound and sensitive to, aspects of their being. Because well-being is about others supplementing, augmenting, and helping you to go or to be carried along. It's just like the sea or the ocean that we see. The more the ocean has water, the more it's able to flow, and like the current of rain or anything. And that is how the human being is essentially. You see these in other aspects of life, like the beehives, or you see this in the ant colony, etc. So when such things are deprived, or when they are deprived of this social harmony, then it affects the individual's cognitive output and domain of doing things. The third thing we should also look at is the political. Saying so much of that because media took up that aspect of it in terms of Twitter, Instagram, and other things. However, to be able to do whatever you want to do. Without their assent, you are left alone in a world of lowliness. Yeah. So yeah, this and many more. So these and many more issues came out, and as resulted as a result led to a form of degeneration of the mental state or the cognitive domain of the human being, because that which carries the being is the head. You know, apart from the very sensitive organ known as the heart, the head is the main decider of every functionality of the human being. And when it is not in its appropriate usage, everything goes out of order. Because for life to be carried along and for order, because man is born into order, when things that would deprive him to live orderly is not in chain of reaction, as we can see bonding to kinship, bonding to families, bonding to friends. When such things are not in place, order is distorted. And that is what we have seen in this few moments of the COVID setting in our lives as a human race. Yeah. Hello? Am I still on? Hello? 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 Hello, Daniel.
I can hear you now.
David.
Yeah.
David. So to answer Nagan's question, she says she feels so depressed during this time almost every day. and cry for no reasons. And she's almost lost. Now, what we need to know is that um, Nagan, the human being must always be at work. The mind must always be at work. If it is not at work and it is socially deprived of these um, opportunities, and it is not engaged appropriately in other fields, then it will go, idling, and that can lead to affecting your soul as a being as well. That is why people do knitting, for example. They do needlework, if I should put it plainly. They do needlework. Some people also do other things, engage themselves in other things. Is people just do copying and pasting information from the media. Today we are we've so much left the field of the paper media or the print culture. But however, you can do a lot of other things. So, for example, one of the things that I encourage people to do is to, for example, just take the social media, the WhatsApp, for example. If you are on any of the social media networks, you can take of the politicians, right? Over time, you gather this that would make them. So you don't need to engage either from the things that you daily do or something that you need to fix your mind on that will give you a lot of joy and hope in life. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Doc, I hope you are on.
David,
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
hello, David.
Yeah. Can you hear me? So Doc was talking about some kind of issues relating to depression. That is fine. Yes, I have worked as a mental health officer for the past 5 years, and my work is basically in the community. So at the community front, there are a whole lot of challenges that are there in terms of pressures from husbands, pressures from wives, pressure from children, pressure from in-laws, pressure from your own finances. And I think one of the areas we have not done much when it comes to depression is uh, depression related to finance or money. Whenever you have money, some people get depressed. When they don't have money, some people get depressed. Some, when their money is getting finished, they get depressed. So money is so critical that we can't underrate it when we are talking about depression. Then we talk about relationship. Relationship could be family relationship, it could be spousal relationship, or any other relationship that you have. So maybe you expect a lot from your relations and you are not getting. You can see what you'll be going through from moment to moment. Probably all your hopes were on this person or that person, and all of the sudden, then there are problems. So you can see that you automatically get to the extreme, and getting to the extreme, you are going to also face a lot. So I think I have read your comment, Nuria Ganja. Okay, Thank you very much. I think your issue, you can link up with me offline, then we talk. So we have spent almost 30 minutes and the network has not been helpful. But some of us are of the view that a lot will be coming back to look at this and also send their comments and contributions. So depression is one of the monsters when you come to mental illness. So we shouldn't underrate depression. We should treat it as urgent as we can. So, so I think you can watch the show. So, whenever I get the opportunity to talk to people, I tell them like, when I am talking about mental illness, I just want you to look at some basic things. The way you have appetite for food, the way you have appetite for other things, they are all being regulated by our brain. The pleasure you have for your partner is regulated by your brain. So the brain is very critical when it comes to mental health, mental illness. But what do we see? We see the other way around. Yeah, so in terms of depression, as I earlier on said, there are various centers of the human brain that are affected. I think in as much as we move in our subsequent presentations, we'll be looking at that. We are not coming to tell you a whole lot of things, but we want to actually pinpoint at where you should expect the problem. So you can go read on your hippocampus. It is somehow affected in depression. You can read on amygdala. It's also affected. You can read on the prefrontal cortex. It's also affected. So when it happens like this, your emotional state becomes imbalanced. And in as much as your emotional state becomes imbalanced, you expect a whole lot of things happening to you physiologically, physically, and the likes, relationship wise, workplace wise, and so on and so forth. Because the kind of energies, the kind of interest, the kind of pleasure we have when we go into work, it is not, it will not be the same when you have depression. You are going to be having thoughts of worthlessness, hopelessness, and probably suicidal thoughts, thinking that if I end it all, would it be better? I beg you. All these things are suicidal thoughts. So when you think about committing suicide, think about depression. When you have depression, also think that you can't be having suicidal thoughts. So there are two things that go hand in hand. So having a thought of killing yourself and having been depressed, they are two things that go together. So moving from here, we want to look at how the pandemic has actually brought about some of these things that is happening of late. Before the pandemic, you were working. During the pandemic, you have lost your job or you lose your job. Look at the pressure. Who is going to feed the family? You were the breadwinner. You have lost your job. There is no income anywhere apart from what you were doing. My God, you are going to get depressed. And in fact, unemployment is one of the things that has been featured cause when it comes to depression. Then divorce. Yes, I'm back. The network got interrupted. So I will always tell people that I don't want to be talking much medical terms when I get to a platform. Yes, partner abuse, it is very, very common. And most of the times, couples or those, the person, the abuser and the abusee, the abuser will not at times know that is abusing you. It is not at times recognized, but the abusee will always be silent. So you can see that during this pandemic time, mother, father, couples are at home, even staying at home self, you can get depressed. So you, the abuser and the abusee, let's look at all this. Partner abuse, it is recorded that most of the times the depressive cases that we get are from partner abuse. A chunk of them are from the partner abuse. One, the relationships or the partner is thinking that he is safeguarding his relationship. You are not safeguarding your relationship, but you are rather causing harm to yourself. If your husband or your wife is giving you problem, and those problems you are thinking, even thinking to end it all, I'm begging you, let us face reality and look at the problem than you saying that you safeguard. You can't safeguard your dead body. What you can safeguard is your life. So how do you safeguard that? So let me take some comment. He said, thanks, Honorable Dave. You nailed it. May we as a people realize no one chooses to be depressed. Yes. If you have all the above he mentioned, seek help. See your doctor or mental health officer. COVID-19 has caused so much pain, loss. Remember, nothing remember nothing stays the same. Yes, no condition is permanent. So when you have depression from head to toe, you are affected. Your everything, even people who are closer to you, are affected. So let us all be worried about this and see that and in fact also not coming out to even complain that I have a problem. Look, 28% of mentally ill patients take almost a year to come out and even voice out to their close relatives that I have a problem. So who are you waiting for? If that 1 year does not come to meet you, who are you waiting for? We are not saying that you should leave your relation or relationship, but if it is the abusive type that you cannot cope anymore, the best thing is that you talk to yourself what you are to do, look for help, talk to your partner what he or she is doing and he's abusing you or she's abusing you, and see if he or she will change. Don't be afraid. Some, it could be physical, emotional, financial, and so on and so forth. But have you talked to him that, hey, young man, young lady, what you are doing is affecting my emotions, it's affecting my mental health, I cannot concentrate? No. Oh my God, I have known people who left relationships and they are better off now. Yes, they are better off, survivors. You can have a number of children there, but if those relationships are not good for you, you don't keep on staying there, probably the next moment is to kill yourself, which we don't want. And killing yourself, suicide, as you know, every 40 seconds worldwide, somebody dies out of suicide. And every 1 minute, 25 people attempt suicide. So during the pandemic, I spoke to somebody from Nepal. The guy told me more than 200 deaths. Those are even the recorded. Even in Ghana and even where we find ourselves, people commit suicide and we don't even know. Their relatives take it. It's a natural death. These people have been depressed for a period. I went somewhere to give a talk. When I finished, they said someone just committed suicide here last week. I said, wow, this man was in pain. He wanted somebody to step in and help him, but no one was coming. No one. So you see, when the person feels like there's no help anymore, what do you think he or she will do? It's better I end it all. Yes. So we will like you to send your comments. Send your comments. I think Nuria should be celebrated today because she has followed the speech and the talk so much that we cannot underrate her contribution today. Nuria, yes, I don't know if I mentioned the name well. Yes, I can see that you have a beautiful face. Keep on being beautiful to yourself. Yes, don't be hurt. Don't be abused by anyone. Don't let someone abuse you. Don't let someone abuse you. So let's look at some possible um, strategies you can use to prevent suicide and prevent depression. The most single thing I have ever been saying is that for you to be able to stay out of some of these psychological problems of which we are talking about, uh, depression today, and men and women, all we are all in the situation as we talk. That is why men, it's always difficult for them to come out and say my wife is abusing me. So we also thank you very much. I don't know where you are speaking from, but you can add your country as well, Nuria. So uh, substance abuse, substance abuse. Avoid abusing substances if you want not if you don't want to get depression and also probably have suicide thoughts and even committing the act. What you have to do is to out of stay out of substance use. Two, always ensure that you eat regularly, eat well, eat well balanced diet, eat well balanced diet. Three, your associations. Your associations. They should be people you can contact, have confidence in, confide in them with your information, and be able to talk at ease, feel at home. Four, always ensure that you have a hobby or two. Because some people are there, they tell me when I meet them, what do you do at times when you want to motivate yourself? They tell me they don't have any hobby. I say, wow, then you need to get one, either playing football, ludo, or worry, going out to walk, talking with friends. Me, what I like best is hydrotherapy, going to a waterfall, going to a riverside, a seaside, and walk, take the breeze. I feel happy. I am emotionally calm when I get there. So you must get one and be able to use in times of difficulties. Then also, when you identify that you have some mild symptoms, as we think about unable to sleep, loss of appetite, frequent forgetfulness, unable to concentrate, loss of sexual pleasure, you should be able to move quickly to see your practitioner and talk to him or her. In that regard, you are going to get out very early. And also look out for these signs in children. Children will always not show that they are depressed. Yes, but it's up to you, the parents, to look out for that. We have 43 minutes spent so far, and we'll be left with 17. So if you can call in, I think I don't know if you have a medium, you can call in and send your contribution or send your comment, and we'll read and all answer. Yes, yes. So in fact, we want to just say congratulations to all who have made it here. That though we had challenges with the network, we have been able to come this far, and gradually, we are moving to the end. Depression is real. And the pandemic has brought a lot of challenges, job loss, should I say, even the disease burden. Yes, Doc, congratulations to Doc Uchena is watching us, and she has been one of my inspirational coaches. In fact, when I hear this woman talk, I always feel happy because when I read some of her stories, what she has gone through, I always say, God bless you, ma. Continue to see the light in whatever you do and always have hopes, positives, and also have aspirations. Doc, Global Pan-Africanism Network is saluting you this moment. We continue to pray for you and hope you do the best in your field of practice. Yes. Yes, access to medication. No, we don't have access to medication in Africa here. Even the policy itself, when I was looking at, I'll be publishing it soon. Mental health policy. Some of the countries, even all the 193 UN countries, almost more than half don't have mental health policies. So medications, we have problem with medications when it comes to mental illness, depression in Africa. Myself, my facility, I don't have, because the medications I got even got expired. So I don't think I can give that. So I lack medication. When I meet the clients and I need to put them on antidepressants, no, where do I get them? And some of them, they are very poor. So this platform should also help us support these people. Are very poor. Me, I can lead the process and ensure that we get these people the medications, whoever that can support us. They are from the very poor. They don't have the ability to afford medications. So you always at times see them, speak to them, and you have to go. The rest of the things to add. So when we have brief psychotic episode, those emergency situations, emergency psychotic episodes, or emergency mental illnesses, what do you have to do in terms of this depression and the likes? You need to use your own resources as a practitioner. Government is trying its best way, but its ways, but it is not forthcoming as we want. Yes. For Ghana, I always say that whenever I get a platform, I'll commend our leadership. Ghana, they have the best mental health policy being passed in 2012, and they have done the legislative instrument in 2019. And I think they are only left with the commitment and funding that they will make to this particular levy of in the LI. So they are doing well. And mental health officers, of which I'm the national president, have been trained, and we are dotted across the country. Where there is no psychologist, where there is no psychiatrist, where there is no doctor, we step in to support. And we are found in every sub-district. So a sub-district of probably 5,000 population, we see them. And most of the times, they don't even go further, because we are able to even solve some of the mental illness problems that they face than they go into the city. So we are doing well. So any country that would like us to come and teach them some of these things, Ghana, and for me, I am ever ready to lead in that process. And line a little, yeah, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, David.
Lisa's want to know, we need to go back to some of the ways our foreparents used to. These new medications is doing more harm than good. Yes, Not all the times that we prescribe medications, we are looking at how best we can all uh, provide even the least psychological support with that medication. Yes, so I think it is also the best. But there are some conditions that you cannot do anything about it until you get medication. Yes. Let's say someone that is having uh,
Yeah, well, I agree with Lisa's.
okay. Doc, can you come in here? She said when we need medicine, it is in our food. So I think we are all
Yeah,
aware.
so I think I agree with Lisa. I mean,
Okay.
Watson, Katie Watson. Um, so Lisa,
I'm listening.
yeah, David,
Yes.
David,
Can you hear me?
hello. Yeah, so I am saying that what happens is that in the African system of thinking, uh, we have our own, I mean, in terms of the cosmos or the cosmic idea of our philosophy of life and our well-being, we have it specifically to our gene or to our genius or our kind, the species of our kind. However, over the years, what we have done is to adapt to other methods, other medical way of doing things, which is now more of African plural medical practices. But in terms of specificity of our gene or of our kinds as Africans or people of so-called darker skin, yeah, I agree with him. I agree with this person that we actually need to go back to the origins of our being. But like you said, we can't neglect the global trend of events. And that is why I said that the African practice more of what we call plural medicine, plurality of medicine or medical pluralism. So yeah, but if we have to be well and sound and whole as Africans, then we need to put more priority on our system of medical worldview. That is our philosophical way of looking at medical practice. So, for example, um, it is paramount that you, the African, have a way of a sustenance of for example, when I was a kid, my grandmom used to prepare herbs and in a pot, and that herb was daily drunk. We the kids, we took it daily, right? And this was for our well-being. And in terms specifically addressing mental depravity or mental exclusivity, the African have their own system of addressing these things. One, the African will forever look for the metaphysical worldview of why that thing has happened. Is it from the world beyond or the natural consequences? And they will look out for antidotes for that. So yeah, I agree with her perfectly that we should, with Watson, that we should emphasize on our own system of, medication, which is more helpful than. And the other, we should know that our communal system is also part of our medical worldview. That is why the African stresses on, yeah, more on communal system of living, more of, because hospitals and other structures of power in terms of the medical medication. or modern phases of medication is deprivation of the well-being of a human being. That is why in Africa, when you are sick, the first thing they do is to change your diet. And I think this is in many, many, many. If you go to Latin America, Brazil, for example, if you go to Asia, China, the Chinese, Korea, South Korea, they look more into their exoteric thinking systems to cure themselves, and they depend more on herbal, the herbal medicine, as we have so-called labeled them, alternative medicine. So yeah, but well-being, being together, sticking together is a therapy on its own. And that is why we need more of each other instead of these artificial socialization of WhatsApp and other things. Take time to pay visit to a kinsman, to a friend or a kin or of your kind. And that is more of, you know, the African. That makes us African. The other thing is we are entering into we are veering into a society of exclusivity where which we are referred to as gated community, but it is actually gentrification, excluded from the rich society. The African is about exclusivity, is about inclusivity. It is not about exclusivity, inclusivity. It is about the brother, the next being, the next person. And that is why we are welcoming and more accommodating, because our well-being, our socialization principle is about our well, and that is why in the hate to it, a man can go into another man's farm and cut, foodstuff, etc., to eat. But when the colonial rule set in, all these things were taken away from us.
Oh, I think we've missed Doc. So, uh, Watson wanted to say that in terms of depression, we should look for more love and attention more than tablets. Yes. So I am even coming up with a psychological, should I say, clinic or a mental health clinic. And what are we going to look out for? What we want to do is that we are going to be socializing. We are going to be meeting from time to time. We are going to get together. Like we start today, it's about 3 hours. When you come, the whole place is a green environment. You sit down, you socialize, you dance small. Probably you have to take some basic drink that is non-alcoholic, something very little. Then probably we try to promote our local diet over there. So this is all that I'm looking out for. But I'm also looking for sponsors who can help me put up this place up. It's a very big facility which can be taken not less than 100 or 200 people every. I want to be doing this thing almost every 2 weeks or every week, so that people after their hard days work at a week, they can come there and relax. They can come there and socialize. They can come there and talk to us as professionals. So we'll be having our colleagues from the mental health field there. When you come, whatever you want to take, you take. You socialize, you make friends, you talk. Then you release some tension, probably some cool music to make sure that you are at home. Yes. Then we are not going to look out for how people chill out there. No, how best we can use music, how best we can use socialization, how best we can use other forms of talking to heal people who are in pain. So we announce whoever is in this difficulty, we have this psychological help clinic over there where we dance, we socialize, we do ABCD. Cycle Eat project. So the Cycle Eat project will bring people together, socialize, mingle, and bring out their problems. Everybody has a problem, but who to talk to is the issue. We are almost ending the show, and God bless you all. God bless you. It's time. So our network has not been helpful to us today, but we still give thanks to God. So our two great people who have come to make their comments, Watson and Tinker Nuria, you can link up with me via WhatsApp +233 5410 9852 1 +233 5410 9852 1. Always be happy and laugh to yourself and someone out there. So why not? We're going to get a lot of things done in terms of cycle aid, cycle help. Depression is real. A lot of people have left us to their graves prematurely because of depression. Don't be a victim of depression. Don't be a victim of depression. So I think we will pause everything here and continue in our next engagement.